Hello and welcome to Exotic Wine Travel. I'm your host, Matthew Horkey. I want to welcome you guys back. I hope you had a great New Year's Eve. It's 2016. It's a little bit sad, I have to admit, for me in this New Year's because I'm a die-hard Michigan State University Spartan. We're the #1 basketball team in the country. We lost this week. We were in the college football playoff. We got smoked. So I'm a little sad, but I'm going to pull through. We're going to get through this. We're going to have some fun. Today we're going to talk about something that you probably popped open last night, if it's New Year's Eve, and that's champagne. Oh, that's everybody's favorite subject, champagne. Although a lot of the times champagne is misunderstood. So I'm going to go through some myths, and we're going to talk about some different types of champagne that we've had in the last couple of days here. So I want you guys to get this straight. First of all, champagne is sparkling wine only from the region of Champagne in northern France. I'll show you what this is. Shireen, can you see this? Can you see the map right here? Mm-hmm. Can you see that? Champagne is right there in the north. Sparkling wine can only be called champagne if it's made up in this area and with a traditional method, with a specific method. All right? Now, that being said, it's so funny. Ironically, there are different wines that come out of champagne that are not sparkling. I've seen a red still wine, dry wine, come out of champagne before. Just to let you know. Traditionally, there are only 3 types of grapes that are used for champagne. Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier. So I know some of you wine geeks out there, you already know this stuff, but some people that are beginners, it's just something for you to understand. So let's go into 3 different types of champagne that we see. Most of the champagne you're going to buy out there is labeled NV, non-vintage, which this basically means in champagne the producer has a bunch of base wines, maybe up to 30, 40, and they mix and test every single year to make sure that the wine has a consistent flavor. Especially big brands like Moet, for instance, Veuve Clicquot, they want to make sure that they taste the same every single year. And then after that, what happens is the champagne goes through a second fermentation in the bottle, and that's how you get the bubbles. Okay. Well, this is the first non-vintage champagne I'm going to show you guys. It's a Pol Roger non-vintage. It's 3 grapes. Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier. I have to say, I'm going to show you guys some champagnes that are maybe not as popular or not as well known. Pol Roger, I have to say, when I drank it, it was a little bit too acidic for me. The beautiful thing about champagne, it has acidity, it has texture, it has a certain creaminess that goes well with all different types of food. This Pol Roger really wasn't doing it that much for me. It was a little bit too acidic, too citrus. Didn't have the creaminess, the length, the finish I like to see out of a good champagne. I would put this, for my personal palate, 87 points. The next kind of champagne we're going to talk about is Rosé. And what that basically means is the juice has a little more contact with the Pinot Noir, the red grape skins, for a little longer. That's why you get this rosy color. This is one of my favorite champagne producers. Shireen, I know as well. Billecart-Salmon. This is the Rosé. This is also a non-vintage champagne. Very nice. The non-vintage dry white champagne, fantastic if you can pick this up. This Rosé rated really high. 95 points James Suckling. So a pretty darn high score. You know what? When we opened it, it wasn't as rosé colored. I don't know if that's a word. It wasn't as pink colored as I was expected. It was a lot lighter. Pretty decent. 95 points. That's going pretty high for me. It tasted a little bit bland, a little bit blah for me. What did you think, Shireen? You think the same thing?
I would much prefer the salmon Billecart on the normal one.
Yeah, if you can't hear her, she's filming. She said she would prefer the regular white or the white champagne versus this rosé. It was good. Is it worth the money? That's your call. If you like rosé champagnes, maybe it's a call for you. The last one though was by far the best champagne that I've ever tasted. This was actually a vintage champagne. And what I mean by that is in the best years where they have the best grapes, they produce a champagne only from grapes from that year to make sure they have a super high quality champagne. This is a Pol Roger. I'm sorry if my French is being messed up. It's their Lady Cuvee series from 2005. Super nice champagne. When I drank this, it was one of those wines where I drank it and I felt like I was getting younger just by drinking it. Beautiful citrus, pear, apple, the acidity nice. It was creamy. It was long on the palate. The mousse or the bubbles were really fine and they held themselves for a long time. This was by far the best champagne that I've ever had. Retail when you buy vintage champagne, it's going to be a little more expensive. This goes for around 120 US dollars. For me, 93 points. This was fantastic. So that's just a little lowdown. We'll be talking more about sparkling and champagne wines in the future. I just wanted to give you guys an understanding of champagne and what champagne is and what it's not. If you like this video, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel, Exotic Wine Travel. That way the videos will come right to you. And I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.